learnings that you can take on the side of SANDBOX moving into this draft, so it feels like another game one, but we've just switched the side. So SANDBOX on the blue, Jin Air going to be on the red as we get into Champion Select for game number 2.
And let's see how SANDBOX is going to start things off. Nocturne being banned away from Malrong.
Yeah, Malrong not going to be able to get that one. Not necessarily a Malrong champion that comes to mind. For me, it's like Xin and Jax, sort of like his personal favorites. We'll see what they're going to follow this up with. There's the LeBlanc taken away from Dove. Makes sense after his Game 1 performance, despite Summit grabbing the MVP. My personal MVP was Dove. Got a lot of damage done, got a lot of things sorted out in the early game as Kalista. Not going to be played by Stitch this game. Certainly was a favorite of his back in the day.
Kalista is the champion of the Holy Trinity that you do try to focus away of the Kalista Galio Thresh.
Yeah.
Because if you just ban Thresh with the Galio, it still doesn't change that the problem still exists. So just banning that and getting it off the table is completely fine. Zoe now banned away as well.
And Silas is also going to hit the bench, so still a lot of things are available. The Lucian stands out. The Vladimir stands out as well. If we go back to game number 1, it was Kalista, Yasuo, Ryze, Lucian, Jace, Tahm Kench. So basically none of those, bar the Kalista, have been banned this time. So a Jace first pick for Summit is standing out like a sore thumb, and that's why Jin Air are going to ban that one away, meaning that Lucian can go into the hands of Ghost if he would like it.
And so now I'm wondering if they want to just lock in the Ezreal for Ghost. Instead, though, hovering Lucian.
Aha! Atlas manages to get at least one prediction correct as Jin Air. We'll see whether they have some surprises for us now that there's their turn.
Jin Air now hovering the Braum.
Alright, so I actually don't necessarily like Braum as much. I feel like if you now have the opportunity to pick up like either Thresh or the Galio, one of the Joker picks, to deny that one from him, maybe get him squirming just a little bit, but Braum is going to be picked up just to deny the Lucian-Braum synergy. I think that is fine.
Lissandra. And so this is interesting early on with Zoe already having been taken off the table. I mean, there's still Syndra, there's also Orianna. Ryze also exists as well. This is a very early Lissandra pick.
Well, the Ryze would certainly be a flex if they were to lock that one in. 8 seconds to go before that one is guaranteed. We saw Keen do phenomenal things on the champion game number 1 for the Afrika Freaks. That's why it was banned every other game and was in fact last banned by Jin Air in game number 1. And the Olaf is going to come up alongside it. So as far as the gank squad is concerned, Ryze, see hero, kill hero is the original M5 idea. Moscow 5 from Season 2. Really popularizing, just put someone in a room prison and kill him. And Olaf up alongside it works very, very well as Malrong thinking about putting on his Lee Sin pants, and he's going to be able to get in there with the Blind Monk.
Now at this point we move into the second ban phase. Probably just try to target supports for the Lucian and neutralize him down. As Thresh is now banned away, and if you're SANDBOX aside, you probably try to pinch the 80 carries, I am assuming. As there's no point... I mean, I guess you could ban away the York. There's two options here. You either ban away the 80 carries, or you pinch York and then wait to see what Jin Air ends up responding with for a final ban. Okay, so the Ezreal is actually banned away first.
I don't mind the Ezreal ban here. I think it's actually pretty smart.
Yep.
Making sure that Stitch can't get onto a potential power pick here when it's Lucian, not like a Draven that can theoretically punish that lane. Shen is going to be banned away, so now Joker is basically priced in to picking Galio.
Maybe Kai'Sa ban here as well. It's either Kai'Sa or Yorick, I'm assuming, at this point of the ban phase. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so Yorick is going to be the one that is picked up. There you are. You got the predictions.
I'm
you got
coming
it
back.
sorted
Here
out.
comes Draven.
All right,
Like what we just said.
Well, Stitch is thinking about it. 15 seconds to go.
Nope,
oh,
nope.
no, really? Really?
Nope.
Come on, mate.
Nope. Nope.
I like the Ashe, though. We've got 3 out of 4 Freljordian champions.
All right, so the one thing that Ashe does have going for it is that there is the Lissandra, there is the Braum. There is a massive
They're from the same
of picks.
place.
So now SANDBOX is going to say, thank you for showing that early. Allow me to go Tom Kentra Morgana. And that's what they're showing now.
Ooh, look at this. It's a draft that's actually working.
And I suppose for top lane blind, when you already have access to the Rise, you could just go for the Vladimir, actually. Because there's not going to be another answer to him, and it's blue side Vlad. Aatrox is atrocious. I am so sorry. It's just such a terrible champion. The entire purpose of the enemy team composition is to skirmish you close range, lock you up, CC you, all of which Aatrox hates, and you just last pick it. Atlas?
Take it away. I'm leaving, says LS. Okay, no. There is one saving grace here, and that is the fact that Summit has been the only other player that can play Aatrox in a lane and have it work. As Tana is looking to punish it here with the Aurelia locked in. Can, of course, still switch things between Chongo and Tana. But I like Chongo on something more like the Lissandra in the mid lane. Now we'll see how things go. Have to wait until 20 seconds just to make sure that we know exactly where everything's going. I mean, the other opportunity is for, you know, the whole top side of SANDBOX to switch around as well.
The issue is that since the Aatrox changes, he can't actually go up against Lissandra all that well anymore because he doesn't have the healing. And so Lissandra Q poke in the way that she's able to cheat the laning phase by simply endlessly pushing with Q. A little bit of flex fight happening right there, but we end up getting the standardized lane. So a little bit of a nightmare situation here. Ryze is being forced to take cleanse because he's up against the Lissandra. And because of this, it means that Lissandra's able to continue being a cheater champion by pressing Q on the wave 3 times, backing up, waiting for the next wave, Q 3 more times, and then deciding to teleport as the enemy is out of mana. So, Aatrox, Olaf, Ryze, Lucian, and Morgana, for what started off as a relatively good team composition, has now devolved into a 2-item power spike in which, if the opponent ever gets the smallest lead, you have no chance of salvaging the game state. Now, on the flip side, for the Jin Air GreenWings, the best draft chance they've had all night, Ashe Braum, Lissandra, Lee Sin, and Aurelia. They have 2 winning lanes with a winning jungler matchup.
Oh man, isn't that
beautiful? And both of the winning lanes can just take over the game entirely because Lissandra's a cheater champion and so is Aurelia. You get hit by a stun, deleted.
And cheater champions are exactly what Jin Air needs to try and fight their way back in here because honestly, it's looking like they don't have a lot of chances so far in the LCK. This could be their opportunity to double their amount of victories here in the LCK. Let's see if they can do it.
The crowd knows.
Yeah, they certainly
know.
They're like, if we're not going to do it here, we're not going to do it at all. As actually, you know, I don't mind the fact that SANDBOX have once again gone for the 1-2 item power spike because this is a team that has been able to consistently snowball. Their early to mid game has been fantastic, and I feel like their late game has been where they've struggled as far as making the right calls with the champions that they have. So get themselves a lead. It's now Tana. Oh, he's going to get bound. That's a good double stun to come through, but it's still a flash now down on the top laner.
And that's really sad. I guess it's fortunate for him that it only comes in at 1 minute, so he'll have it back up by 6 minutes, but definitely takes away from the solo kill potential. I want to point out something interesting by Dove here, is he's going up against cheater champion Lissandra in mid lane, who just wants to push in the first 4 waves with Q, doesn't care about her mana, doesn't care about her HP, uses the corrupting potions, recalls, teleports, comes into lane, you're out of mana. And Dove elected to try to combat this with a dark seal and a refillable potion, which, Atlas, let me fill you in.
Fill me in, please.
That doesn't sustain your mana that well.
No. In fact, it doesn't at all. So I'm along there with you.
Every day.
It's a little bit perplexing. We'll see whether it works.
Lissandra already off to a good start here, attempting to crash in the wave. Did miss 33% of the minions.
It's not exactly the greatest news, but his job is to shove.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Look at this, magnificent. Ready? Ready?
Wait for the Q.
The epitome.
Oh, sets it up, misses one of them. But do you know what he's doing? He's shoving it into the turret. Ready? And that's what you said he should do. He's hit by a spell flux there. As you can see, Kellen's been missing every Winter's Bite, but Stitch is playing very aggressively on the Ashe. Of course, one thing that is very underrated with Ashe is her laning potential. Her laning power is very, very strong. So, especially in the earlier levels where you can keep yourself pretty immune to ganks, is the side steps of these AD carries. It's been pretty impressive so far.
Another cheater champ right there. Able to locate the jungler at will.
Oh, man.
That
the
is
triple cheater champion composition.
This is the lengths that Jin is going to now.
Yeah.
To try to win these games, so.
And you have to remember as well, the SANDBOX players are tired.
What Tana's doing right here is he's doing Summit a favor. What you'll have noticed is that there was a lot of blue minions that was going to guarantee that several spellcasters and the cannons were going to die, but Tana wanted to keep auto-attacking and clearing the minions down because of that.
Is that something that you've had experience with in some of your coaching on stream?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I personally, you know, I've watched a few of those, and I've noticed that it's a little bit, do you know that Kitchen Nightmares show? It's a little bit like that when people decide to just auto-attack minions. Especially on the top side of the map. We'll see whether it works for Tana, though. Because in competitive, it's a little bit different because things called lane priority do exist. So the more you push forward, the more you're going to allow your jungler to play more aggressively. Piercing Light is going to tag Stitch there, but so far, things have been relatively even here on the bottom side of the map, and we've just been really wanting to see Stitch. Wanting to see more, and finally, he comes in. It takes an entire team switch, but that does mean that Stitch gets down there. So, exciting to see. Is now Malrong
Lane's
make
coming
his way
in
towards the top.
So this is really good lane setup right now for Malrong. And
he's gone home. Alright.
What?
The Kitchen Nightmares moments coming in.
He only had to wait like 20 seconds. He doesn't have anywhere to be right now.
Well, Infernal Chains is going to get broken there, as at least the passive is going to get a decent trade. Darkened Blade working out there for him. And now we're going to have OnFleek making his journey up, but good vision available here from Tana. Remember, doesn't have his flash. Still another minute and a half, something like that. And that vision is now going to be spotted, so Tana not exactly having the greatest time, but Ionian Fervor is available. So can heal back up again with that on hit, as well as wanting to be able to stack up the Conqueror. Summit decided not to take. He's, of course, got the Grasp of the Undying.
And interestingly enough, Chungo did not utilize the teleport early on, did not try to attack Ryze's mana pool, and instead we will be having a reset even mid lane. So much for that.
Yeah. So the cheating didn't happen. I'm okay with that.
Not
Flash
occur.
from Summit to dive on top of Tana. They know that he ain't going anywhere. First Blood goes over to the Olaf. This is not what we saw from Punch earlier on. This is an Olaf played with a lot of aggression in the early game and looks great for SANDBOX.
Yeah, and they knew that Tana still doesn't have the flash available because of the initial Morgana play at the very beginning, locking him up in the Tri-Brush below the top tier 1 turret. And meanwhile, Malrong is preoccupied getting the Cloud Drake. And after that, he'll probably just end up full clearing his jungle bottom to top.
Ocean going to be the next one, so once again, we're going to have the RNG not necessarily working out in their favor. As Tana comes in, and I believe, did he get the reset actually on that one? I think he might have, but doesn't actually matter. As the Infernal Chains arm, and that was almost just an entire solo kill coming in from Summit.
Yeah.
But OnFleek was there, so wanted to capitalize. Takes away the kill.
And so right now, Dove coming back into mid lane. He has his tier complete, he has the cleanse. Chungo has not utilized his teleport whatsoever. Still doesn't have the Lost Chapter, not taking the Dark Seal approach either, and so this is very peculiar play, especially because Malrong actually opened the way that he was supposed to relative to what his lanes were. He full cleared. He had a potential gank setup starting for him up in top lane, recalled a little bit prematurely.
Yeah. And is there a reason to hold on to your teleport for this particular composition as well on the side of Jin? I mean, you can understand that you want to try and answer ganks around the map, things like that, but he didn't when Tana got locked down, things like that. It was just going to be too late. Is there a potential reason that you'd want to hold on to it?
Well, see, I'm always very vocal about you don't want to assume or have to calculate into your game plan that your opponents will make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's not a way to approach the game. So even if we're saying that, okay, well, we have this teleport on the Lissandra, can we somehow capitalize off it? Well, Ashe and Braum can't magically set up and alter the lane because they don't have that much initial control, and Aurelia doesn't need the assistance. So it should just all be for Lissandra.
1v1 is working out here for both Summit and Tana. Tana's just trying to wait out the World Ender. Does use the flash as OnFleek makes his way back up yet again. Jin Air a little bit slower on the rotation. Good stun, but outside of turret range. As now Dove, he comes up, and the jig is up. Ultimate is going to be traded there, but flash down for Tana as soon as it comes back up again.
Looked like almost Rise was going to be able to potentially steal that away. Now Tana does have teleport.
Visual bug, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not quite coming in just yet.
All
right, good top lane sense there from Tana. Moves himself back under the turret.
Malrang now waiting for OnFleek. OnFleek does have his ultimate available, but if he ends up using it, I do believe that the Blast Cone doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and vision available here as he walks on over. Malrang, I believe, may have actually shown himself there. As you can see, Summit's going to move on over. Face checks. Doesn't have the ult, remember, as Chongo's going to be able to move up, but Realm Warp is going to be there. Blast Cone used. Arrow's going to go wide, and SANDBOX are trying to collapse on one of the members of Jin Air as they move on in. The Brambleback's going to reset, and so is Jin Air. So no harm, no foul. Both teams going to move on back. Are you okay, Ellis?
Yeah. What we just saw right there was just a great, immaculate defense from Jin Air over the red buff.
I'm sensing some sarcasm, but I didn't think it was all that bad, actually.
Nonetheless, Malrang ended up showing himself to the Aatrox, and so the jig was indeed up. Aatrox pathing towards that breath, but Malrang beelining up into top lane right now, and stun does not connect, but nothing was probably going to happen anyway.
Yeah, Umbral Dash was available and off cooldown, so he's fine.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's really trying to force this issue.
Yeah, we're looking for a dive. Does get the pullback as Tana potentially just baiting here as he dives on forward, but Summit's just not losing his health bar. Tana just doesn't offer too much damage with this Ninja Tabi early build, and the teleport's coming in. Jin Air are looking to try and force this one as much as possible. World Ender still on cooldown, and that means that that's an easy one for Jin Air to dive into on the top side, but that's teleport invested.
And that's actually a really big kill for them to get, because if Aatrox begins getting put into the grave, it's really difficult for him to stabilize and come back. And the teleport came at a perfect timing because it was a cannon wave in mid, which means that even if Rise does get back into the mid lane and shoves it into Lissandra's turret, the turret takes an eternity to actually manage to kill the cannon, which gives Lissandra ample time to get back into the lane, potentially absorb the XP, or actually still clip the cannon right at the very end. That was very close.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised, actually, Joker isn't just trying to go around the left-hand side, look for the Scryer, and then hit it, because everyone knows that Ashe cannot stay in this lane anymore. But Ashe's arrow.
Oh, no.
Huh?
Doesn't land, okay. We've got Ghost doing a fair bit of damage onto Malrang here, who has to flash. Ghost already used his. Relentless Pursuit not quite there, and maybe even didn't have the mana. That was a bit of a cavalcade of errors, wasn't it?
That was interesting. Did Stitch have vision and just whiffed it anyway? Because if he just used Hawkshot.
Ah, right. Maybe he's used Hawkshot. That's where he was, but then moved over in order to back.
That would be...
I want to give him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
As Malrang's going to start the second Drake, but they're going to trade it for the Rift Herald. Jin Air will move on up and look to try and help him out here. Okay, SANDBOX though. They've still got a long time to use this Rift Herald and get some of these turret plates, be it mid lane, be it bot lane. Still a lot of them available here for SANDBOX. As I believe Ocean Drake actually, not going to get finished off. And in fact, doesn't fully reset. So SANDBOX, cake and eat it too for them as they take the Rift Herald and take the Ocean Drake.
And Aurelia now up in top lane. She's up quite a bit, actually, in the CS department, despite the early game pressure that ended up coming her way.
Spends her flash early, and then gets ganked very early as well for first blood onto OnFleek. And then was still able to win out in the lane.
This is looking really cute. Here we go.
Yep, back is going to come forward. Here is Dove, not window shopping at all. Does use his flash, but trades it for Chongos. And theoretically, it is an advantage onto Jin Air because they do get the cleanse as well.
Atlas, why did he flash instead of just using E?
I don't know. What do you mean? Oh, right. Why did Chongo flash instead of using E? Yeah, look. I thought you were talking about Dove. I'm like, I mean, E wouldn't have helped. Like, but yeah, no, you're right. That's a toughie. As Summit has to ult, wants to get under the safety of his turret. Infernal Chains going to come on down there, but Summit does need to be very careful. And now, no World Ender, has to enter the middle of the lane, and that means he has to go back home.
And he doesn't have teleport, which means that Tana, with still 1 minute remaining on these plates, Olaf is going to have to make a quick trip up to top lane, or this is about to be a kill going Tana's way if he can manage to get 2 plates here.
And it's another example of Rift Herald really going underutilized as you've got 30 seconds remaining on that Rift Herald, and I don't think that they're going to be able to get that minion wave to that top lane outer turret. So a bit of a disaster here. 2 plates do remain there up the top side of the map, but Tana's really having a day out on the Aurelia at this stage.
Yeah, he's up almost 40 CS. Now Atrox is back in the lane. And Summit trying to
Oh no, his back is going to get stopped.
Well, Lee Sin's here. This is actually the great bait.
Well, might actually work out here as Olaf going to be much further behind. Summit does have flash as he's trying to get out. Umbral Dash is there as well. Olaf will turn up as Tana, Infernal Chains lands. He's not going anywhere, but Blade Surge does come forward. Just straight up whiffs the stun though. And On Fleek is going to pick up the kill.
And Rift Herald now going to be summoned by SANDBOX. They're going to try to use this to capture the top tier 1 turret.
I like that. This is LS's new strategy. Pivot away from the play so you just don't need to talk about it and talk about the next thing. That's really good, man. I think we're improving. We really are. It's a journey. We're all on the journey with you, and we're witnessing so many good things. As tower goes down up towards the top side, SANDBOX make the best of what was a good situation, but one that Tana honestly delivered to them. But he's still winning. He's still got a pretty big advantage up towards that top side. And yes, Shelly does get herself a double charge. But otherwise, it's not lights out here for Jin Air by any means. And they're not even 1,000 gold behind. At 15 minutes.
Yeah. Jin Air is actually in a really good spot. Now, let's take a look at this one more time. What you're going to see here is Malrang comes up, can't quite locate the R key prior to Summit flashing away and then getting into vicinity of Olaf. A little bit of a different page here as the safeguard not wanting to be used into the kick, as then Olaf would end up gobbling up the Lee Sin as well for sure.
Yeah. A little bit of some of the problems that we've illustrated about Malrang when it comes to the mid-game and early game.
I was just really greedy, holding
exactly.
the ultimate for absolutely no reason. There's no way that you can assume that you would need to use it in the near future.
Wow. That was very close and very dangerous. Thankfully, he actually, so he has Ninja Tabi, and I think they saved his life.
Yeah.
Just then. Not building for his lane. Yeah, there's 2 Ninja Tabi.
What if
one on
one
each
foot has it?
I mean, Rise has 2 feet, so I assume you get a 2-for-1 special in the shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you pass on that one.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I was worried. I was worried that I wasn't going to get a pass there. I was getting a bit scared.
Well, now you're saved, so.
Oh, thank goodness.
Talking about save, though, Jin Air is looking like they're going to be able to transition to the point that we talked about in the pick ban, where there is a fundamental core problem with the SANDBOX draft. They're all very short range. The enemy team has a Lissandra.
They do.
Aurelia is a good champion. And there is a lot of CC and lockups. Yes, you have an invulnerability on the Olaf. Yes, you have the Morgana Black Shield. But the real issue is, how do your carries actually reliably get into the fight without also putting themselves in compromising situations?
Well, that is yet to be seen at this point in time. At the moment, the early game has gone just fine for SANDBOX. There's Dove here towards the bottom side, and On Fleek is just going to find Malrang, who safeguards his way out. Some damage landing here from Dove, though, and this is one of the scary things, is that Rise is this champion that sort of sits back, and then all of a sudden he does about 1 billion damage. His Ghost is in trouble. but not going to get stunned up just yet, as the Black Shield is available. Complete comes on in, and you've got bottom lane just transitioning towards the mid lane, just keeping things in order, much as you would see in many of the other games. This tower still getting attacked up towards the top side of the map as well from Tana. Infernal Chains do come in there, but at least a lot of that damage is mitigated. It's not that Infernal Chains necessarily does a lot of damage, though. And Ocean Drake has now spawned.
Ocean Drake, definitely not the biggest priority for either of these teams, though.
Wow, Ghost actually just got tagged by almost everything just there, as Tana is going to make first rotation. Chongo in trouble, though, and they need Alessandra. The arrow is just going to go straight up wide, but why were you throwing it at a Morgana or at an Olaf? Odd decision coming in here.
Alice, he wasn't throwing it at either. He was trying to join the New England Patriots.
Ah,
so
right,
that's
okay. That was
going on
definitely a field goal. I'll give that one to you. Now, as a Aussie Rules football enthusiast, I'm all about getting it between the posts, you know? Because that's what you got to do in that game.
Oh, what is football called in Australia?
Football.
Is it really?
Yeah, we
Just
call
like
it
American.
footy. We call it footy, but that's because we're Australians and we like to make words as short as possible.
Okay.
If we can.
Definitely not bad.
Yep.
What is so I actually don't know this. What is American football called in Europe?
I think it's I think we call it American football.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that actually it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nailed it.
I like how you said we. You're an imposter. You're not Australian.
Actually, that's a good point. I mean, my heritage is theoretically English.
Okay.
A couple of generations back.
No, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe 800 years or so.
Oh, no. Do you know Australia? Do you know how old Australia is?
No, actually, I don't.
200 years old, dude.
I'm from America. So
oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
you gotta forgive me.
Australia ain't been around.
Probably can't even locate Australia on a map. You know.
Yeah. It's, as far as the colonization is concerned, it has been only a few hundred years.
Really?
A couple of hundred years.
Do you know that I believe the South Korean language is only 500 years old or something? It's like 600 years old.
Really?
It's one of the newest languages. Yeah.
I don't think it's even that old. I think it's actually quite new. Yeah, I know it's one of the newest languages, but I think it was even earlier than.
Or maybe the written. I'm not sure. Now you're making me insecure.
I'm sorry. We'll do some research in between games 2 and 3. The written one was more late. We're getting confirmation from G-Sun, so thankfully someone actually knows. And so LS, you are right. No need to be self-conscious. You were correct, of course.
Right.
We'll have to get exact numbers there. We'll get the stats team on it.
We're in the lull state right now, so
yeah,
just feel free to lean back.
450 years old. See?
I was pretty close.
You were pretty close, but I was still correct, so we're both right.
All right.
Isn't that perfect?
Perfect synergy.
Aw, thanks, G-Sun. If you lied about that just to help our egos, then I really appreciate it.
Have you seen the new Pokemon games?
I have. Sword and Shield? I'm pretty excited.
I wish that they went a different direction with the starters. Every single time, it's water, fire, grass. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't they mix it up once? Can you give me a psychic, dark, and lightning or something, you know? Why does it always have to be water, fire, grass?
Because it has to be, so you need to have elements that then sort of rock, paper, scissors each other, right? So you'll need to find another set of those elements. That's what you'll have to do. So try again. Can we? Can we
All right,
get?
I'll try again. Can we
get another one? Let's
get
another one.
A Freaka KT Jinner.
Wait. What does Jinner beat? This is rock, paper, scissors. You fundamentally lost the game. Oh no. Oh no. Poor Jinner. Right now, they're in a decent position to beat SANDBOX. Only 400 gold behind. Well, actually, no, it's 1.3k, but 400 sounds way better. As the Aurelia is scaling up, Chongo on this Lysandra has some items, hasn't died, has a gold bounty of 500. Things are going pretty well here as the arrow is thrown out onto Joker.
Trying to hit a champion that has CC invulnerability.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. That is quite a strong shield. I need to get yourself a man that can do that.
Yeah, I think so. As Stitch gets bound, but half a health bar on the turret. He's going to get taken here.
And this is all great, actually. To be completely honest, for Jin Air GreenWings, the Aurelia is continuing to scale. Now, on the flip side, Ryze is also continuing to scale. But, again, SANDBOX will find themselves in the same predicament we talked about earlier. Now, you'll notice that there's a Wolf camp and a Gromp camp up, but Malrong is feeling obligated. He is compelled to be here, stealing CS and XP away from his teams.
Oh no. And Tana has to be a good guy and rubber band the camp for him there as well because he's not quite in position. We'll head over to his Wolf camp now. So the jungle is going to be pretty barren. A camp is alive in the Krug department on the top side. Otherwise, not too much of a big deal here. Is Summit's going to make his way forward, and Realm Warp is going to come in, but Tana should be able to flash to get himself to safety. As Summit does land the Infernal Chains, the pullback, max range as Tana knows he has to commit because he has no way out. And of course, he's gone straight to the Death Chamber. The Aurelia tried. It didn't quite work out there as the Death Squad of Aatrox and Ryze too strong.
And it really didn't look like that was going to work, but SANDBOX, they really forced the agenda. Now, the unfortunate thing here is that on Fleek...
Well, he's really, really tanky right here as Malrong goes immediately into his stopwatch. Odd decision, 2 versus 1 there, but the flash forward from OnFleek, the arrow not going to land. That's another beautiful field goal.
Well, now we return to the wall state here in mid lane.
All right, so we can get back to it. So we're gonna go back to, okay, never mind. We'll commentate the siege while it's happening as Chongo does throw out the claw, and they should be able to keep this one alive unless Chongo's gonna get picked off. No, he's gonna go into his stopwatch as Summit does have the World Ender. He can dive underneath this one. It's Kellen. One auto attack away from death as Summit wants to die. World Ender just about to time out, but he does get himself back up to half health. This turret, 1 hit away from dead. Kellen in a similar situation. This should be the advantage going over to SANDBOX.
And this is definitely going to be the mid-tier 1 turret falling. And SANDBOX, they're going to find themselves with a 3rd Ocean Drake this game. We'll have to see what the... Now, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
Infernal is coming next.
All right. I'm guessing.
Here we go.
I'm guessing Cloud. I'm guessing Cloud. That's what I'm feeling. Oh my goodness, you're too good at this game. You are too good at this game.
And Jin is going to get that.
Yeah.
Jin will get it.
All right, okay.
All right.
That's where they turn it on. They wait for the good Drake. All right, I'm with you.
Turn the page.
This is the answer in the Choose Your Own Adventure?
Yeah.
Is that what we're getting to? Okay.
So now, 4.5 minutes until Jin flips this game on its head.
And so far, the advantage isn't even 3,000 just yet. Ardent Blaze to deter Kellen from going further forward. As our Joker just seems to be copping skill shots left, right, and center. Undertow flies in. Jinner set up shop here in this mid lane. And a lot of this vision is getting cleared out. There is a very cheeky control ward standing right next to where Jinner are trying to get vision control, and Chongo should be able to find it to take it down.
One of the really weird things here is Ash's run animation. It looks like her legs are in slow-mo. And I just never really quite understood it. You know?
Yeah, like she's prancing. She's prancing a little bit, isn't she?
I just don't think it's natural to have your legs move like that. Let's just watch when it gets back onto her. You'll see what I mean. See, Lissandra moves normal. Olaf, his legs are moving normal.
Lissandra doesn't even have legs.
She just has a great dress.
Have you seen Big Hero 6?
Have you seen the Grammys?
Yes.
All right, so you've seen these outrageous dresses. That's all that she's doing.
Yeah, but have you seen how the things move around?
Look at her, look at her, look at her. What is that?
It's a prance. She's prancing.
Legs don't move like that, Atlas.
Don't they? I don't know.
Now you're making me...
I'm starting to doubt everything. But like, look at Lissandra. See how the things move around? Have you seen Big Hero 6?
No.
You know the microbots, like in the movie?
I just said no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, right, you haven't seen it. Never mind. Okay, well, you need to see it. It's adorable. Okay. It's absolutely adorable. It's a really great movie. But the little microbots actually do build together to sort of like create like an extra sort of leg situation, and you can use them to walk around. And it does look exactly like that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure someone can link us a video or something like that and let us know on Twitter.
All right.
Big Hero 6 is a great movie, man. You really got to watch it. Really got to watch it.
Do you know what's coming out in 4 days in Korea?
Captain Marvel?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
we get it before the rest of the world, I think.
We've had a chat about this already. I'm pretty excited.
I am really excited. I am going to go to that. I'm going to see it twice, actually. On
really?
Yes.
All right. I was actually having a chat to one of my friends, Paper Thin, another one of the commentators out here in Korea, and he's also very excited, but he's a huge Marvel Comics fan, so he's got a lot of expectations. I'm personally not one. I read a lot of Asterix and Tintin in my time, not as much.
Do you have a favorite Marvel superhero?
No, not really. Sorry. I mean, I do. I like Thor, but mostly because of the movies, not for anything else.
Makes sense.
All right, Arrow once again going to miss. Stitch is getting real good at this one. He's picking gaps. There are a lot of SANDBOX members there, but weaves its way all the way through. Tana might be caught out here in transition. Doesn't land his stun. Humble dash is, of course, very, very short. And SANDBOX just get themselves in a better position to try and get the siege happening on this inner turret.
Teleport coming in.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Inner turret does go down, but can they win this fight as Jin Air? They throw out the ultimate. The Vanguard's Edge is in the back line as now Tana's diving forward. Chongo very low on health, though, and the World Ender is all they're able to get. Tana trying to run for the hills, but SANDBOX, they lose no one in that sandwich.
Yeah, they lost absolutely no one, and one of the main problems here is that Stitch didn't have his ultimate. So while this fight was going on, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow not being available wasn't able to follow up on that engage after the Black Shield was down.
Yeah.
And this is completely fine because 59 seconds, SANDBOX will take the fight.
Well, at the moment, 29 minutes, as the Baron has been alive for 9 minutes on this map.
Triple Ocean, they might try to cheese the Baron.
Well, I mean, remember where their health bars were at earlier on. They are now basically full. So these triple oceans are doing some work. Remember, if you stack any Drake to 3, it's good in some way. Because you've either got incredible movement speed with the Cloud, but first let's have a look at this fight and see
we take a look at this, and Ashe, you can just see Ashe is not doing any damage whatsoever. She can't reliably get in here because none of the members are able to reliably be CC'd. So Lissandra escapes barely by the skin of her teeth. But now, 13 seconds. Not sure if Vanguard's Edge is actually going to be available. This is it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What we have been waiting for.
All right. Ashe has an Infinity Edge. That seems good. And the Infernal Drake is going to get taken by SANDBOX. Still waiting. Still waiting.
Is
this what we were waiting for?
This is what we were waiting for.
Right, okay, because they can trade it for their own red buff. Nailed.
I said Infernal. I was just getting mixed up. Red Dragon, red buff.
It's an understandable mistake. They're on the red team. They don't need a red dragon. They're already red.
All right. Okay. Give it a second here.
Finally, that control ward actually gets taken down as they have soul vision around this Baron area. Jin Air with 5 members up here. They're pushing towards the bottom side, but OnFleek spent a lot of time towards the bot lane. They've started this up. Vision is going to be there. SANDBOX. Joker is going to make his way in, but remember, Morgana, very, very squishy. Dove throwing in skill shots. The culling thrown straight into the Unbreakable. And now SANDBOX thinking about heading towards the Baron themselves. This Ghost is just randomly getting shot by the dude. Okay, he's going to take about 1/3 of his health bar.
Baron is on Jin Air's team. Here we go.
Oh, inside track into the inhibitor turret, though. Jin Air don't quite know where they are, as there we go. Realm Warp gets Dove over there. Chongo thinks that he's in a good position to flank. But is he? As the Dark Binding lands onto Kellen, Stitch finally gets through, but the damage has been done. Base broken for SANDBOX.
And I don't know why Jin Air aren't pulling the trigger.
They're doing the do-si-do. They're being ran around the map.
Where's Chongo going?
Looking for a flank, but that was thinking that SANDBOX were going to exit, as now Vanguard's Edge flies through. Tana trying to get this one. Already some very low health bars as Ghost has been taken down. Tana trades his life now as Stitch. Very, very low, but OnFleek on the back line finds himself alone. The Guardian Angel's going to pop. Chongo gets out with the claw. It's a 1-for-1 in the end, and it looks like SANDBOX still want to take it. Chongo can't get out. The Infernal Chains are going to land. Kellen also dead. SANDBOX will take an inhibitor off the back of it from what looked like a pretty decent Jin Air trade.
And it looked like it was actually going to start off really good for Jin Air. I want to definitely see a replay of that fight to look at some other stuff that I guess I wasn't quite paying attention to. The different part of the screen as Malrang now coming in here. The only hope for Jin Air to stay in this game is a Baron steal. Summit gonna go over the edge.
Yeah, and Malrong, it's just the hunt down. This is to make sure that Malrong can't steal away that Baron. Like you say, that could be game ending, as they're just going to two-man it all too easily between Dove and OnFleek. The machine gun Rise is well and truly online with his Seraph's Embrace. 4 items now as the Spellbinder gets completed. And let's have a look at this fight one more time, because like we said, I mean, this was a decent engage from Tana. And the arrow finally landed.
Tana goes on to Rise. The arrow did end up landing, but then Tana locked down by the Rise right there. So he went a little bit too far forward when he should have just been handling OnFleek and letting Rise do the majority of things. Even though they end up getting Ghost, Ghost isn't the most problematic threat. As long as the Aurelia lives and sustains through the fight, then SANDBOX isn't going to have too much to be able to do once the Olaf runs out of fuel and the Atrox runs out of fuel. But nonetheless, now Infernal Elder coming up in a minute and a half. Baron will persist through it.
And all of a sudden, it's a 7,000 gold lead, right? I feel like this game has exploded. And this is what happens when you play scared. You can understand why Jin Air do it, because they haven't won a series. They've won one game. As far as morale is concerned, you can guarantee that it is in the toilet, as the Jin Air B squad just unable to get anything done. The decision-making just straight up too scared. And they're going to lose, most likely, this inhibitor turret unless they can make a coordinated play. They've tried. They've got buttons available. A few flashes are there, but you can see, look, Dove just standing on top of a siege minion. And they're going to usher some minions into the mid lane there as well, looking to break the base on the bottom side of the map as well. 50 seconds, and Elder Drake will come up, and SANDBOX, you can imagine, happy to take it as Chongo. He's going to flash on forward, but just not enough damage available. Kellen has to flash in order to get back, and SANDBOX are more than happy to take this fight. The kill does come in. The World Ender is great from Summit to keep him alive. He even has a Guardian Angel, and they'll say, well, okay, I guess we won't back away. We're going to look to win the game right here as Arrow going to be successful once again, but Dove immediately cleanses that one off and flashes forward, looks to punish as Tana's taken down. Malrong and Stitch just looking on as their Nexus is obliterated, and Jin Air, unfortunately, yet again go down 0-2.
And this was another pretty classic example of Jin Air handshaking voluntarily a fight at the exact wrong time.